The other day, my son, grown up, living in Cape Town, delivered his first Sunday school lesson. And he phoned me afterwards and he said, "Mom, it went so well. Thank you for that first video that you made for me on how to get attention from the kids without shushing them and without shouting at them." So he asked me for the second video. So here we go. Have you noticed in your Sunday school that there are often two kinds of children? Some kids that cannot stop talking. Oh my goodness, they have so much to say. And then you have some kids that don't talk at all. You don't even know them by the end of the year. In this video, we are going to explore and I'm going to teach you a very important strategy that you can use to deal with the talkers in your class. Hi everyone, I am Teacher D and this is my classroom. And in this channel, we are going to talk about children and ministry and everything about kids. I understand from the YouTuber gurus that my first 50 videos are going to be quite bad. So I want to invite you to come along for the ride because I might just get good at this, you never know. I'm really excited about this channel and I would love for you to subscribe. And if you subscribe, will you write here at the bottom in the comments, "I subscribe," because then we can start this community. Over the last 30 years that I've worked with kids, I often find in big groups that you have some kids that talk all the time and then there are some kids that don't talk at all. And that's a problem because as a teacher, you want these things to be balanced out and you want every child's voice to be heard. I remember I was in grade 3 and I was a big talker. And one day a teacher came up to me and she put her face in my face and she said to me, "Deirdre, if you don't stop talking, I am going to take your teeth out." Well, I had a few reoccurring nightmares after that, I can promise you. But thinking back, I thought to myself, sure, she probably didn't have any strategies to deal with kids that talk too much, and I was one of them. On the other hand, sometimes you have kids in your class that talk very little. To my shame, I have to confess, I once had a grade 0 in my class, and after 6 months, and I was a regular teacher, not only a Sunday school teacher. After 6 months, I said to her, "Listen, sweetie, what do you want to be when you're grown up?" And she said to me, "I want to be a rock star." And I'm like, "What?" And she said, "I want to be a rock star." She wanted to be a rock star, and I realized she has a speech impediment. I have never heard her voice before. That was very troubling for me. Here is the strategy. You start a shoulder buddy system. You can call it anything you want to, but it's basically that the children pair up and for the whole lesson, they are partners for talking. The big talkers can only talk to their partner and the quiet kid have to talk to their partner. Can I ask for some grace now? I'm going to switch over into teacher mode. Now my grown-up kids say I have a special teacher voice, so just bear with me. Let's switch into teacher mode. Here we go. Peace and quiet. Thank you, boys and girls, for giving me a peace and quiet and looking up the moment that I played on the xylophone. Remember, when I play on the xylophone, you give me a peace and quiet, and then it's my turn to talk. And when you talk, I won't talk. And when I talk, you won't talk. Is that a deal? Perfect. Now, while we are sitting here on the carpet, I want you to look to your left, I want you to look to your right, and I want you to find a shoulder buddy. Now your shoulder buddy is the person that sits the closest to you. You can move around a little bit and find somebody that you can talk to. Now it doesn't have to be a friend, it just needs to be a person that you can talk to. Now today, this is going to be my shoulder buddy. My shoulder buddy's name is Kelso. So, did you find your partner? If you didn't, just raise a hand and I will help you to find your own partner. Okay, so now that everybody has a shoulder buddy, I want to teach you how to talk to your shoulder buddy. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn your body. So here is my partner. We are facing to the front, but now we're going to turn to each other and talk to each other. It is really important that you turn your body when you talk to your partner. So let's give it a go. I want you to turn to your partner and I want you to say to them what you are grateful for. Okay, so this is what I will do. Hi Kelso, I am really grateful that I can start this channel. And you? Hello Teacher D, I love being here on this channel too. Okay, so talk to your partner quickly. That's great. I notice that you guys are turning to each other and you look at each other and then you talk to each other. Now, if you talk to each other, then I will sometimes say to you if you want to share out, but I really need you to turn your body and talk to your partner. Is that a deal? Okay, can I have a thumbs up? Yes. Okay, turn to your partner and quickly say to them, I love this new strategy. I can talk in the middle of a lesson. Turn to your partner and say, ooh, I love this strategy. I can talk in the middle of a lesson. Yes, I love this strategy. I can talk in the middle of a lesson. Never be afraid to reteach. I might reteach this in the beginning of the year quite a few times so that I can make sure that all the kids know if I say, team up, get a shoulder buddy, they know what to do. Because then the big talkers talk when I want them to talk. And the kids that don't talk are kind of forced to talk in a safe environment with a friend. As you get to know the children, you can team them up so that you know the big talkers that maybe have a soft heart can talk to a quiet person, and you can match them so that you know that the kids will participate. Try to let the siblings not always partner together. In the beginning it's fine, but you want to stretch them. And I always say to them, it's not always easy to talk to somebody you don't know, because in our Sunday school there are often visitors. But I want to encourage them, and I'll say to them, I want you to know that Jesus sees this, that you are stretching yourself and you're showing kindness and love to somebody that you don't know. So give a lot of positive feedback. Sometimes I find there's a kid that take quite a few weeks before they turn their bodies and they talk, and that is okay. And sometimes I make groups of 3, but the ideal are 2 kids that you can match up and they can talk to each other right through the lesson. In the middle of lessons, almost every 3-4 minutes, I'll say to the kids, turn to your shoulder buddy and tell them something. For instance, I'll say to them, okay, let's switch gears to my teacher mode. I'll say, okay, boys and girls, I want you to think about, what's the name of the prophet we were talking about? Can you think a little bit and then share out with your partner? Okay, what was the prophet? I really encourage them to talk to each other. And then what I will do is I will only let the kids that talk to each other give feedback. So what I'll say is I'll say something like, all right, Martha and Michael, I noticed that you two really talk to each other. So I want to know, what did you talk about? Do you want to share out? If a child shouts out, I will do this. So I will encourage them with my hand signals to not shout out. I will not listen to that child. Even if they give the answer, I won't even acknowledge it. I'll look at them and just go, you have to raise your hand for permission to talk. And now you talk to your shoulder buddy. So I might repeat it to that child. I'll say to them, remember, you have to raise your hand for permission to talk. But now is the time to talk to your shoulder buddy. I am only going to listen to the kids to share out who talked to their shoulder buddies. After kids have shared, sometimes I need to play on my xylophone again because they learn that this is their time to talk. So I'll quickly play on my xylophone, ask for a peace and quiet, and then I'll ask them to share out. I can't stress this enough. There's always some wonderful kid that has all the answers. Do not let them always shout out the answer. Never give them attention. Just acknowledge them and say to them, remember, you have to raise your hand for permission to speak. And if I ask you to speak to your shoulder buddy, you have to speak to your shoulder buddy. And then I will even say something like, this is an instruction. It is not a question. Here are some ways I use it. I'll say, turn to your shoulder buddy and talk to them about what we've learned about. Turn to your shoulder buddy and list the fruits of the Spirit. Turn to your shoulder buddy and tell them your weekly news. Now, this is one of my favorite things. Full disclosure, I find news time extremely exhausting. If 35 little kids want to say to you, Teacher D, yesterday I went to my granny and my dog is sick. I struggle with that. So I prefer that they share out to each other. I'll say to them, it's time for news, please talk to your shoulder buddy. And then I will, I'll ask other ways that I'll find out the really important stuff. But this is just something that saves a lot of time and still every child's voice is heard. I will sometimes say to them, if there's something that you really need to share with me, you can come to me after the lesson. So here are the benefits of this strategy. The big talkers have a lot of time to talk. The kids that are quiet can practice the words they do have available. Kids learn in a safe environment to talk about the things of God, which is such an important skill to learn. Whenever you find during the lesson that things are starting to fizzle out, children are starting to talk to each other or to play, then know that your monologue has gone on for too long. So use the strategy. Quickly think, what can you let them say to each other, and then do that. We have now learned 2 strategies. The first one was how to get their attention, that very first moment when you walk into the class, and that was in the previous video. And in this one, it was all about the shoulder buddy that helps you to manage the talking in your classroom. In the next videos, I'm going to share more strategies that you can use in your classroom to make sure that they don't only shush, they don't only listen, but they really learn. What we do every Sunday can have eternal benefits. So I want to encourage you. Teaching is a learned skill, and you can learn how to do this and to not be overwhelmed when you walk out of your Sunday school class. When you do these strategies, I promise you it will feel unnatural, especially in the beginning. But as you get to use them, it just becomes second nature. And when I walk into a classroom, I know exactly what I'm doing because somebody taught me how to manage a group of kids. When you subscribe, please write I subscribe in the comments below, because then you won't miss out on my next video, and we can also start this community. And remember, you are loved, and underneath are the everlasting arms. Thank you for watching.